guys, it's your girl Khanyi Cakes and I am back with another lit vid. If you're a returning subscriber, welcome back to the Cakes Club. And if you're new here, hi, I'm Khanyi Cakes. If you didn't know, now you know, so subscribe. So, as you've probably already seen by the title, today I'm doing a story time of my period horror story. So I feel like all of us girls have that period horror story time, you know, that one time where you had blood on your pants or you didn't have a pad with you. So I'm gonna share my story. As embarrassing as it may be, I'm gonna share it. So without further ado, let's get straight into this video. So let's rewind to 4 years ago, I think. Yeah, I was 11 and I was an early bloomer, okay? So basically I was growing at a faster rate than most girls my age and most of the girls in my class. So, you know, I had already had breasts and curves and a bit of stretch marks, and I started wearing a bra and things like that. And most of the girls my age at the time weren't experiencing any of this, so I was kind of insecure. I was like, am I weird and everything? But my aunts and my mom and people would just tell me that no, it's normal, I shouldn't even worry about it. And you know, like, don't worry about it, sweetheart, don't worry about it, you know, it's that splat.
Don't worry about it, don't worry about it, sweetheart. Don't worry about it, sweetheart. That splat. That's that splat right there.
Like, you were getting into womanhood and everything. I didn't really understand, and no one told me about periods, you know. I mean, we did kind of learn about them in grade 4, but I didn't know that you're just gonna bleed out of the blue. So there was this one beautiful morning in, I think this was 2016 or 2015, and I was going to school as normal. But on this one morning, I just felt so sick. Like, my stomach was painful, you know, I felt like throwing up, I felt constipated. I just didn't know what was going on. So normally I get ready for school, you know, I take a bath, wear my school clothes, you know, I'm waiting in the morning, I'm about to go to school. Now, on the way to school, I just felt this sharp pain, like somebody was literally stabbing me. Like, it was so bad. I've never experienced a pain like that in my life. So I was going with my older brother, I remember, to school, and he's just like, nah, you'll be okay. So the day continued as normal. You know, I'm just like, okay, you know, whatever, it's okay, I'll be fine, I can handle this, you know, I'm a big girl. So I put my big girl panties on and I went to school as normal. You know, I greet my friends and we chilling in the morning. But I was kind of low that day, you know, my mood was it was They're like, girl, what's going on with you, man? Why are you so why are you so sear? Why are you so sour? Why are you so salty? Huh? What's wrong? So I'm like, no, I'm just having stomach cramps, you know. And they're just like, oh, you'll be fine, you'll be okay, don't stress. So we in line up and Mrs. Payne comes again. The stabbing feeling comes again. And this time, it's 2 times worse, okay? It's worse than the first time. So I'm just there in the line like, what is going on? So I asked one of the teachers at lineup, I was like, ma'am, may I please go to the bathroom because I'm not feeling so well? She's like, yeah, sure, you can go. Get to the bathroom, take some deep breaths, and, you know, I just sat in the toilet for a few minutes, like 5 minutes, and I was like, okay, I'll be fine. The morning bell rings for school to start and people are getting their school bags. I was late for class in the morning because, remember, I went to the bathroom. My registered teacher asks me like, hey, Khanyi, are you okay? What's going on? So I'm like, ma'am, my stomach is sore. And she's like, oh, you'll be okay. Do you want any medication? I was like, no, because if you want medication, they have to call your parents and it's a whole process before they can give you any medicine. So I go to my classes as normal, we're changing classes. So the day was going by okay. You know, Mrs. Payne left for a bit. She was like, bye, but I'm gonna be back, okay? So the day's continuing as normal. My registered teacher was also my English teacher. So at this point, I'm sitting in the class and I'm like, ma'am, my stomach is So, okay, so she's like, go to the bathroom. I was crying. Bear in mind, I'm only 11. I didn't know what was going on. You know, nobody told me how periods work and when I feel this type of pain. I just thought at this point, this is the last day. Might as well say goodbye to my friends. You know, might as well call my mom and tell her that, you know, mom, I don't know if I'm gonna come back home alive, because, girl, I'm in the pits right now. So I go to the bathroom just before break, and this pain now is 3 times worse. I was like curled up on the toilet seat, and I thought I was constipated. So I'm there trying to push out something that's not there. And I remember just sitting down on the toilet. I'm like, what in the world is going on? What is this? This is not the content I signed up for. I didn't wake up this morning and come to school for me to be sick the whole day. This is not it. So eventually I went back to class. The bell rings, it's break and everything. Usually my friends and I would play like hide and seek. We were still young, so we played things like hide and seek, touch, whatever games it is. But then on this day I asked them, like, guys, can we just sit down and chill, because I'm not feeling okay. I'm really not feeling fine. So they're like, okay, fine. So we're sitting on the bench, you know, we're just talking. So the bell rings, break is over. At this time, it's like 11. I get back to class. So I had to go to maths. And at the same time, I have pains. And I have to focus in maths with all these pains. You know, I just couldn't. So I am sitting there, and sis could not work. Like, I was just literally sitting there. The teacher was explaining. It was getting in one ear and going out the other. I just couldn't focus. I felt so dizzy. I felt nauseous. I felt like throwing up. I felt sick. So this is where it gets juicy. I used to sit at the back of the class in the maths class. So I'm just sitting there, and my friend kicks my chair. She's like, baby girl, are you good? Guys, Zini. Mrs. Payne came back. And at this point, she was not there to play. I just felt my stomach going like this. It's as if I had a little ninja inside my stomach with a sword, cutting up all my insides, my intestines and everything. Guys, it was bad. It was so bad. I'm just sitting there. And I feel this sharp pain. And I felt like I was peeing on myself. Like, I don't know. You know that feeling where you just feel like you're wet and you're like peeing on yourself? I felt that kind of feeling. So I'm like, what in the world is going on? But I touched my seat and it's not wet. So I remember at this point when I feel like I'm peeing on myself, I raised my hand. I'm like, ma'am, can I go to the bathroom? And she was like, no, but I have to explain. I'm like, you can see I'm in the pits. And she's telling me things like, no, but it was just break and na. So I'm like, okay, cool. I'm just gonna, you know, hold the pain and wait. So she's busy there explaining 5 divided by 5, 50 divided by 10, all these equations, and I can't think. I cannot think. So eventually, after like 15 minutes, she's done explaining. And then eventually she was like, I could go to the bathroom. Guys, so I stood up, and at that time we used to wear like skirts. It's basically like a skirt mixed with a short. I stood up and I'm walking to the front of the class because I want to get out of the door to go to the toilet. And somehow I didn't realize it, but sis has blood everywhere. Sis has blood everywhere at the back of her pants. So I'm walking to the front of the class, and as I'm walking, all the learners are staring at me. And I'm just there like, what you're looking at? Like, mind your own business. Like, focus on your maths. What you looking at? All the kids are like, oh my gosh, Khanyi, you're bleeding. Guys, I remember I didn't even ask the teacher to go to the toilet. I just ran out of the class. I just ran out of the class, and I was like, I knew that today is the last day. Like, peace out, world. Firstly, I have pains. Next thing, I stand up and I'm bleeding. So at this point, I'm running to the bathroom, you know, I'm crying, I'm over exaggerating and everything. So my maths teacher decides to follow me. She follows me to the bathroom, but I ran to the bathroom, closed the door, I pulled out my pants, and there's blood everywhere. I remember I was wearing like a pink underwear. Guys, when I tell you, my underwear was stained, like it was just blood everywhere on my whole underwear. My skirt was bloody, like it was just blood everywhere. It was so bad. So I get to the toilet and I messed up. I sit down on the toilet and now I'm putting blood on the toilet because the blood was like on my body as well. It was such a mess, like it was horrible. And at this point I'm just sitting there screaming, crying. So my maths teacher knocks on the door. She's like, are you okay? You know what's going on and stuff. I'm just like, now you care. Baby girl, I asked you to go to the bathroom about 15 minutes ago and you wanted me to sit there so you could explain 2 plus 2 to me. Like, if you had let me go to the bathroom, none of this would have happened. You know, none of this would have happened. At this point, I am so embarrassed. I don't know what to do. I'm crying and everything. She's like, no, Khanyi, be calm. Should I call your mom? So yeah, she calls my mom and then she tells my mom what's going on, you know, like Khanyi's having her first period, she's screaming, she's crying. I don't know if it's possible for you to leave work and come and fetch her. So eventually my registered teacher, shout out to her guys, she was such a nice teacher. This maths teacher spoke to my registered teacher and she came, she bought me a pad and we had a clothing shop at school. My registered teacher actually went to the clothing shop to ask if they could borrow me some long pants because I had to change, and she explained the situation to the lady that works at the clothing shop. And yeah, so they brought me pants, brought me pads. I changed and wore my long pants, and luckily my teacher fetched my school bag for me so I didn't have to go face these kids. I was so embarrassed. So yeah, my mom came to fetch me. And then on that day, she told me, like, this is your period, this is what happens, you know, your body's changing, you're growing. And yeah, so I went to school the next day and people were just asking me, like, oh, how does it feel? Like, is it painful, you know? And, you know, how does it feel to wear a pad? And all of these things. And I was kind of happy and excited because the way my mom explained it to me is like, you know, you're becoming a woman now. And I'm just like, sis, I'm a big girl now, okay? Like, who gonna touch me now? Who gonna touch me now? Yeah, that is basically when my period started. That was my period horror story. I had to clean up the mess in the toilet, so I took tissue and I wiped the seat and everything. The floor, I borrowed a mop, and yeah. So that was basically my period horror story. Always have pads in your bag. Guys, as soon as you hit puberty, you see your body starts changing. If you haven't started your period, always have an extra pad, because an extra pad and extra underwear. So yeah, from that day on, I always have an emergency kit in my bag where I have pads, an extra underwear, and wet wipes in case, you know, I make a mess, something happens. I think we all have these situations. Comment down below if you've had a period horror story before and what happened. But yeah, guys, that is basically it for today's story time. Hope you guys enjoyed it. And I just want to tell you, if you're hitting puberty, you know, and you're a teenager and you're uncomfortable with all these changes, like, your period is important, you know, puberty is important, you know, your body's changing because you're becoming a woman now. So embrace it. Don't be embarrassed because of your period and things like that. It's completely normal, and own it, you know, own your teenage years. Embrace the process, embrace the journey, love yourself, love your stretch marks, love all the changes. And yeah, so that is basically it for today's video, you guys. Thank you so much for watching. Please don't forget to leave a huge thumbs up, comment down below, and subscribe for more content. Until next time, you guys, love and light.